They made history in qualifying.
Shout out, this is Tunisia. It's a qualify for the next FIFA World Cup.
They never conceded a single goal. They were called defensive geniuses. But when the lights turned on at the 2026 World Cup, Tunisia became the tournament's biggest disaster.
So it's given away to Isak. Has the ball at his feet, rolls it to one side!
And it gets worse. They fired their coach mid-tournament. The 2026 World Cup has given us incredible moments. Shock results, stunning goals, underdog stories. But there's one team that stands out for all the wrong reasons: Tunisia. The Eagles of Carthage flew into this tournament with high hopes, but they've crashed harder than anyone could have imagined. Right now, after 2 matches, Tunisia sits dead last in Group F with 0 points, a goal difference of -8, and they've been outscored 9 goals to 1. But the numbers only tell part of the story. Today we're breaking down exactly how Tunisia went from qualifying heroes to World Cup zeros, what went wrong, and why this might be the most embarrassing campaign in their history. To understand how shocking Tunisia's collapse is, you need to know where they came from. During the African qualifiers, Tunisia achieved something unprecedented in World Cup history. They completed their entire qualifying campaign without conceding a single goal. That's right, 10 matches, 10 clean sheets. They won 9 games and drew 1, finishing top of their group with 28 points. This defensive masterclass had fans dreaming. Could Tunisia finally break their curse and advance past the group stage for the first time in their history? This was their 7th World Cup appearance, more than any African nation except Cameroon, but they'd never made it to the knockout rounds. Not in 1978, not in 1998, 22, 26, 2018, or even 2022. 7 attempts, 7 group stage exits, but this time felt different. That rock-solid defense featuring veterans like Montassar Talbi and Omar Rekik, protected by the experienced midfield duo of Elias Skiri and new addition Rani Khedira, looked unbeatable. Tunisia qualified with 3 different coaches during the campaign, showing they had the system and talent to succeed regardless of who was on the sidelines. The hype was real. Tunisia were drawn into Group F alongside the Netherlands, Japan and Sweden. Tough opponents? Absolutely. But with that defensive record, fans believed they could grind out results. Little did anyone know, everything was about to fall apart. June 14th, 2026, Estadio Monterrey, Mexico. Tunisia's opening match against Sweden. The team that hadn't conceded in qualifying was about to experience a nightmare they'll never forget. Sweden came out attacking from the first whistle. In the 7th minute, goal. Yassine Ayari. Tunisia's incredible clean sheet streak shattered, but that was just the beginning. In the 30th minute, Alexander Isak made it 2-0. Tunisia's defense, which looked invincible for 2 years, was being torn apart like paper. The Tunisian faithful held on to hope going into halftime. Down 2-0 wasn't great, but they could recover. Then 3 minutes into the second half, Omar Rekik scored to make it 2-1. A lifeline. Could Tunisia pull off a comeback? Absolutely not. Sweden responded with brutal efficiency. Victor Gyökeres scored in the 59th minute. Matthias Svanberg added a 4th in the 84th. And then the humiliation reached its peak. Yassine Ayari scored his second goal in the 96th minute. Final score, Sweden 5, Tunisia 1. This wasn't just a loss. This was a demolition, a humiliation on the world stage. Sweden had scored 5 goals, their second highest goal haul in World Cup history, only behind their 8-0 destruction of Cuba back in 1938. Tunisia's defense had gone from an impenetrable fortress to Swiss cheese in one catastrophic night. The stats told the brutal truth. Sweden dominated possession, created chance after chance, and exposed every weakness Tunisia had been hiding during qualifying against weaker African opponents. The difference in quality was staggering. Manager Sabri Lamouchi, who had only been in charge for 5 months and had managed just 4 friendlies before the tournament, looked completely out of his depth. But here's where it gets even crazier. After this humiliating defeat, the Tunisian Football Federation made a decision that shocked the football world. They fired Sabri Lamouchi mid-tournament after 1 game. Tunisia fired their manager in the middle of a World Cup after losing just 1 match. This was the first time a coach had been sacked during a World Cup tournament since 1998, 28 years ago. Back then, 3 managers were fired. Tunisia's own Henrik Kasperczak, Saudi Arabia's Carlos Alberto Pereira, and South Korea's Cha Bum-kun. Now history was repeating itself for Tunisia, and not in a good way. The decision was controversial, to say the least. Yes, losing 5-1 is embarrassing. Yes, Lamouchi's tactics seemed outdated. Yes, he'd made questionable squad selections that drew criticism before the tournament, but firing your coach after 1 match with 2 games still to play creates chaos. Who takes over? What system do you play? How do the players adapt? Enter Hervé Renard, the French manager famous for winning 2 Africa Cup of Nations titles with Zambia and Ivory Coast, was brought in as emergency manager. Renard, known for his distinctive long white hair and passionate touchline presence, had recently been managing the French women's national team. Now he had less than a week to prepare a shattered Tunisia team for their second group match against Japan. Japan. The football world was watching. Could Renard work a miracle? Could Tunisia salvage their World Cup? Or was this desperate move just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic? June 20th, 2026. The same estadio in Monterrey, Tunisia versus Japan. This match had a special significance. It was the 1000th game in World Cup history. Tunisia fans were hoping for a memorable performance. They got one, but not the way they hoped. The match started, and within 4 minutes, Tunisia was behind. Daichi Kamada scored for Japan. Not again, thought Tunisian fans. We can't have another disaster. But history was about to repeat itself. In the 31st minute, Ayase Weda made it 2-0. Tunisia's defense, supposedly reorganized under Renard, looked just as vulnerable as it did under Lamouchi. The halftime whistle couldn't come soon enough. Down 2-0, Tunisia needed a miracle second half turnaround. It never came. Instead, Japan added 2 more. Junya Ito scored in the 69th minute, and Ayase Weda grabbed his second in the 83rd minute. Final score, Tunisia 0, Japan 4. Another humiliation. Another defensive collapse. Another match where Tunisia looked completely outclassed. Let's put this in perspective. In 2 matches, Tunisia had now conceded 9 goals. The team that went 10 qualifying matches without conceding once had shipped 9 goals in just 180 minutes of World Cup football. Their goal difference was -8. They had 0 points, and mathematically they were eliminated from the tournament with 1 game still to play. The contrast was staggering. Against Liberia, São Tomé, and Príncipe, Namibia, and Malawi in qualifying, Tunisia looked like world beaters. Against Sweden and Japan, mid-tier teams, not even the elite, they looked like amateurs. The quality gap between African qualifying and World Cup football had never been more brutally exposed. So how does a team go from qualifying perfection to World Cup disaster? Let's break down the key reasons. First, the quality of opposition. Tunisia's qualifying group included Equatorial Guinea, Namibia, Malawi, Liberia, and São Tomé and Príncipe. With all due respect to these nations, they're not exactly footballing powerhouses. Tunisia's defense looked incredible because they weren't being tested by world-class attackers. When they faced Sweden's Alexander Isak and Victor Gyökeres and Japan's Ayase Weda and Daichi Kamada, the difference was night and day. Second, lack of attacking threat. Tunisia's qualifying strategy was simple. Defend deep, stay compact, grind out 1-0 wins. Against weaker teams, it worked. But at the World Cup, parking the bus only works if you can actually defend and if you have the quality to score on the counter. Tunisia had neither. Their key playmaker, Burnley's Hannibal Mabry, picked up an injury in a pre-tournament friendly against Austria and was clearly not 100% fit. Without him, Tunisia had no creativity, no spark, no way to hurt opponents. Third, managerial chaos. Tunisia had 5 different coaches during their qualifying campaign. They appointed Sabri Lamouchi just 5 months before the World Cup. He had 4 friendlies to prepare, and the warning signs were there. Then, after 1 bad game, they panic and fire him, bringing in Renard with no time to implement his ideas. The lack of continuity and planning was staggering. Fourth, the youngest squad syndrome. Tunisia brought the 5th youngest squad to the tournament. Youth can be exciting, but in a high-pressure World Cup environment, experience matters. When things went wrong, Tunisia didn't have leaders who could steady the ship. They panicked, made mistakes, and the floodgates opened. Fifth, mental fragility. After conceding early in both matches, Tunisia's confidence completely evaporated. The defense that looked so solid in qualifying suddenly made error after error. Players were caught out of position. Communication broke down. It was like watching a team that didn't believe in their own ability, and when you don't believe, you get destroyed. Tunisia still has 1 match left against the Netherlands on June 25th in Kansas City, but it's a dead rubber. They're already eliminated. The only question now is, can they avoid further humiliation? Or will the Netherlands, who've already beaten Sweden 5-1 in their second match, add to Tunisia's misery? Right now, Tunisia has the worst record in the entire tournament. 0 points, 9 goals conceded, 1 goal scored, a fired manager, and a fan base that went from dreaming of knockout round glory to witnessing their team's worst World Cup performance ever. This is the harsh reality of international football. Qualifying means nothing if you can't step up when it matters. Tunisia learned that lesson the hardest way possible, and now they'll be remembered as one of the biggest disappointments in World Cup history. What do you think went wrong for Tunisia? Could they have done anything differently? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more World Cup content, and I'll see you in the next one.